Do you know the Turks? The Turks have left deep-rooted marks in various parts of the world, established states, and interacted with different civilizations, leaving behind a great historical legacy. Playing a significant role on the stage of history, this nation exists not merely as an ethnic group, but as a civilization. Turkish history is not just a past marked by wars and conquests. The Turks have shaped world history, founded great civilizations, and made remarkable contributions to humanity. Their cultural depth, mystical beliefs, and dedication to art and science make them one of the most influential nations in history. Today, the legacy of the Turks continues to live on, not just in the pages of history books, but in the modern world. The mysterious and fascinating aspects of Turkish history are not only part of one nation's past, but of the shared cultural heritage of all humanity. This is why understanding Turkish history means understanding the history of civilization itself. The ancient Turkish book Kitabe states that Turkish tradition is built upon four fundamental principles: Kinilik, justice; Tuzluk, equality; Uzluk, virtue and benefit; and Kisilik, humanity and tolerance. Tolerance, openness, and respect for different beliefs have always been part of the Turkish character. This is why Turks were easily accepted by the nations they interacted with, and never pursued a colonialist approach at any point in history. As a result, today, Turks continue to uphold these same principles wherever they go. With the legacy of their ancestors running through their veins, they stand tall, free, and always on the side of those seeking justice and freedom. In this video, we will uncover the greatest secrets of the Turks, explore their lesser-known aspects, and reveal their unique role in history. This video will not only introduce the Turks, but also present concise and essential insights into the history of this extraordinary nation that has played a crucial role in shaping the world. From their nomadic spirit to their vast empires, from their mystical traditions to their place in the modern world. Are you ready to discover the Turks more closely? Then let's turn the pages of history together.
The mysterious history of the Turks and their place in the world. As one of the most ancient and influential nations in human history, the Turks have played significant roles on the world stage for centuries, leaving an enduring legacy. Originating from the vast steppes of Central Asia, this powerful people have shaped history not only through their warrior spirit, but also with their governance, cultural heritage, and contributions to science and art. With their nomadic spirit that knows no boundaries, the Turks have established great empires throughout history, acting as a bridge between continents and serving as a balancing force between East and West. From the Huns to the Gokturks, from the Seljuks to the Ottomans, the Turks have founded many great states, mastering not only warfare, but also diplomacy and civilization building. Their influence on history extends far beyond the lands they conquered. Their ancient state traditions and developed legal systems have inspired numerous societies. The role of the Turks in history has been enriched by legends and epics, preserving their mysterious aspects through the ages. Immortalized in the Orkhan inscriptions, celebrated in legendary battles, and guided by visionary statesmen, they have earned their place in the golden pages of history. Their contributions were not limited to military strategy. They also played a crucial role in the advancement of culture and the arts. Today, Turkish communities are spread across the world, preserving their identities in different regions while keeping their cultural heritage alive. The impact of the Turks on world history is far more than just the story of an ordinary nation. They represent a powerful force, an enduring civilization, and the bearers of a universal legacy. So, what are the most mysterious and fascinating aspects of Turkish history? What secrets, legends, and historical events make them so unique? In this video, we will uncover the hidden depths of the Turks, their presence in the world, and their extraordinary place in history.
The mysterious history of the Turks and their place in the world. As one of the most ancient and influential nations in human history, the Turks have played significant roles on the world stage for centuries, leaving an enduring legacy. Originating from the vast steppes of Central Asia, this powerful people have shaped history not only through their warrior spirit, but also with their governance, cultural heritage, and contributions to science and art. With their nomadic spirit that knows no boundaries, The Turks have established great empires throughout history, acting as a bridge between continents and serving as a balancing force between East and West. From the Huns to the Gökturks, from the Seljuks to the Ottomans, the Turks have founded many great states, mastering not only warfare, but also diplomacy and civilization building. Their influence on history extends far beyond the lands they conquered. Their ancient state traditions and developed legal systems have inspired numerous societies. The role of the Turks in history has been enriched by legends and epics, preserving their mysterious aspects through the ages. Immortalized in the Orkhon inscriptions, celebrated in legendary battles, and guided by visionary statesmen, they have earned their place in the golden pages of history. Their contributions were not limited to military strategy. They also played a crucial role in the advancement of culture and the arts. Today, Turkish communities are spread across the world, preserving their identities in different regions, while keeping their cultural heritage alive. The impact of the Turks on world history is far more than just the story of an ordinary nation. They represent a powerful force, an enduring civilization, and the bearers of a universal legacy. So what are the most mysterious and fascinating aspects of Turkish history? What secrets, legends, and historical events make them so unique? In this video, we will uncover the hidden depths of the Turks, their presence in the world, and their extraordinary place in history.
The Ergenekon legend, the rebirth of the Turks, and the epic journey to freedom. One of the most fascinating and legendary narratives of Turkish history, the Ergenekon legend is not merely a tale of escape, but a unique epic that tells the story of a nation's rebirth from its ashes, its journey from captivity to freedom, and its rise once again. This legend showcases the resilience, determination, unwavering will, and ability of the Turks to shape their own destiny. Ergenekon is not just an event of the past. It is an immortal symbol that represents the Turkish nation's ability to be reborn in every era of hardship. After years of captivity, the chains that were melted with fire, patience, and perseverance transformed the Turks into a nation once again ready to rule the world.
War, captivity, and the perilous journey. According to legend, the Turks once ruled vast lands as a great nation. However, they were surrounded by powerful enemies and ultimately defeated in a great war. A large portion of the Turkish people perished in battle, but a handful of brave survivors had to find a way to stay alive and rebuild their nation. These heroes sought refuge in a hidden and unreachable valley, surrounded by towering mountains, to escape the swords of their enemies. This secluded land, cut off entirely from the outside world, became known as Ergenekon. Years, even centuries passed. The Turks survived in this confined land, growing in numbers and strength. Over time, their home became too small to sustain them. As a nation, they longed to reclaim their ancestors' legacy, to once again prove their warrior spirit to the world, and to break free from their chains. However, one immense obstacle stood in their way, a colossal iron mountain separating them from the outside world.
Melting the Iron Mountain, a path forged by fire. Remembering the legacy of their great ancestors, the Turks knew they had to find a way to overcome this immense obstacle. This was when their mastery of metalworking became their salvation. Realizing that the mountain was made entirely of iron, they decided to melt it down and carve a path to freedom. Fires were ignited, blazing furnaces were built, and for days, even weeks, the Iron Mountain was heated and melted. At last, the massive iron barrier, consumed by roaring flames, melted away, creating a passage to the outside world. This moment is considered one of the greatest turning points in Turkish history. It was not merely a geographical escape, but a mental and spiritual rebirth. The Turks had broken the chains of captivity and were now ready to reclaim their place in the world.
The guidance of the Grey Wolf, a sacred journey. The Turks were not alone on their epic journey from darkness to light. According to legend, at the very moment they emerged from the mountain, a sacred grey wolf descended from the heavens and began to guide them. In Turkish mythology, the grey wolf symbolizes strength, independence, and divine guidance. It is a sacred being that leads the Turkish nation in its most difficult times, showing the path to truth and freedom. Under the leadership of the grey wolf, The Turks emerged from the mountain and began to spread across the world as a reborn nation. The borders of Ergenekon were now behind them, and once again, the Turks set forth to show their strength and freedom to the entire world.
The meaning of Ergenekon, an eternal source of inspiration for the Turkish nation. The legend of Ergenekon is not just a tale of salvation. It is a symbol of the Turkish nation's inherent character, its resilience, determination, and spirit of rebirth throughout history. It is the story of a nation that never gives up in the face of adversity and always finds a way forward. It is the narrative of a people forged in fire, who rise from their ashes time and time again. It represents an unwavering belief in freedom, a deep passion for independence, and the relentless strength to overcome any obstacle. The emergence from Ergenekon was not merely a geographical escape. It was a great awakening, where the Turkish nation rewrote its destiny, broke its chains, and once again made its name known to the world. And throughout history, whenever the Turks faced dark times, the spirit of Ergenekon lived on within them. Because no matter how many hardships they endured, the Turkish nation has always risen from its ashes and stood tall once again. This is why Ergenekon is not just a legend of the past. It is an eternal source of inspiration for the present and the future.
The Epic of Oguz Kagan, the celestial origins and universal sovereignty of the Turks. Another fascinating Turkish legend is the Epic of Oguz Kagan. Oguz Kagan was not just an ordinary leader. He was a celestial divine being, born to rule both the heavens and the earth. His arrival was a sign that the destiny of the Turks was about to change, and that a great nation destined to conquer the world would rise. The Epic of Oguz Kagan, one of the grandest and most captivating epics of Turkish history, is not merely a tale of heroism. It is a sacred legacy that narrates the origins of the Turks, their mission on earth, and the great ideal they have carried throughout history. This legend reveals that the Turks were not merely a nation, but a mighty lineage with a vision of global power and universal sovereignty. For this reason, Oguz Kagan is not only regarded as the greatest leader of the Turks, but also as one of the greatest rulers in the history of humanity.
Sacred birth, a leader descending from the heavens. According to legend, Oguz Kagan was no ordinary baby when he was born. His face was blue, his eyes blazed like fire, and he began speaking the moment he came into the world. Not only did his appearance set him apart, but also the wisdom and power he displayed from birth made it clear that he was no ordinary human. Even as an infant, he bore the seal of the heavens and the earth upon his chest. Oguz Kagan grew up in harmony with nature. The sky guided him, the mountains and rivers bowed before him, and the natural world spoke to him. From a young age, he accomplished feats that ordinary leaders could not achieve in a lifetime. He hunted alone, tamed the fiercest beasts, and became a warrior admired by his people. He even formed bonds with wolves, and as just a child, he led his people to victory in great battles.
The first war in his bond with wolves. While still young, Oguz Kagan achieved great victories through his courage and strength. To protect his people from oppression and darkness, he waged his first great war against cruel rulers. Like a bolt of lightning from the sky, he charged into battle alone, skillfully countering every attack and defeating even the strongest warriors. During this battle, a sacred wolf appeared to guide him. The Bozkurt Grey Wolf holds a sacred place in Turkish mythology, serving as the eternal guide of the Turks in their darkest times. This divine wolf became Oguz Kagan's companion, lighting his path and leading him forward. As a symbol of the Turkish people's unbreakable spirit and devotion to freedom, the wolf was a celestial sign that blessed Oguz Kagan's leadership.
The sacred light from the heavens and universal sovereignty. One day, a divine light descended from the heavens, bestowing a great mission upon Oguz Kagan. He was destined not only to fulfill his people's dream of expansion, but also to become the ruler of the entire world. The Turks would not merely govern a single region. They would be the keepers of balance between heaven and earth, representing justice, wisdom, and power. In the presence of this sacred light, Oguz Kagan swore an oath. With the duty given to me by my ancestors and by the Almighty, I shall lead the Turkish nation to rule over the world. We are not merely a people. We are the nation that will bring balance to the heavens and the earth. We are the followers of justice, strength, and the path of wisdom. We shall conquer the world, yet never oppress. Humanity shall rise with us. After this solemn vow, Oghuz Kagan set forth on his conquests, marching from east to west, north to south. No army, no fortress, and no force could stand in his way. Nations bowed before him, and countries recognized his justice.
World dominion and the legacy of Oghuz Kagan. Oghuz Kagan's rule was not based on conquests alone. He was a wise sovereign, one who shaped the Turkish state tradition, blending justice and power into one. On the battlefield, he was an invincible commander. To his people, he was a compassionate father. Even to his enemies, he was a leader who upheld fairness and honor. Following his victories, he established a great order, ruling alongside his 6 sons and numerous descendants. The principles of Turkish statehood, governance, and traditions were founded upon the path Oghuz Kagan paved. The system he built was not only for the Turks, but also for all of humanity, creating a foundation of balance and justice. His governance prioritized justice, merit, and wisdom, ensuring harmony with his people, nature, and the divine order.
13. The immortality of Oghuz Kagan. The story of Oghuz Kagan is not merely a tale of heroism. He is a sacred symbol that demonstrates that the Turks are not just a regional power, but a universal nation with a mission to rule the world. Oghuz Kagan lives beyond his mortal body, residing in legends and in the very spirit of the Turkish nation. His legacy is not just a relic of the past, it is a guiding force for the present and future. Every Turkish descendant carries the responsibility of keeping his ideals alive. Even today, his traces and teachings endure throughout the Turkish world. Whenever the Turks pursue a great goal or engage in a major struggle, the spirit of Oghuz Kagan grants them strength. He is remembered not only as a great leader of Turkish history, but as one of the greatest leaders in human history. For Oghuz Kagan was not merely a commander. He was the eternal guide of an ideal, a nation, and a civilization. And his legacy shall live on forever.
The mythology of the Grey Wolf, a symbol of freedom, strength, and rebirth. Many cultures around the world feature the wolf in their mythology, each assigning different meanings to it. Some see the wolf as a fierce and wild predator, while others consider it a guide or protector. However, for no nation is the wolf as sacred and meaningful as it is for the Turks. The Grey Wolf, Bozkurt, is not just a symbol of the Turks. It is a divine entity that shapes their destiny. It represents courage, freedom, independence, and rebirth. The Turks have always seen themselves as a nation that has spread across the world under the guidance of the wolf, overcoming hardships and rising from the ashes.
The sacredness of the Grey Wolf, a mystery engraved in Turkish origins. In Turkish legends, the Grey Wolf is not merely an animal or symbol of strength and bravery. It is also a representation of independence and freedom. It is a divine guide, a protector, and a pathfinder sent by the heavens. One of the most well-known origin myths of the Turks, the Asina legend, is a testament to this belief. According to legend, the Turks were nearly annihilated after a devastating enemy attack. However, a single wounded boy, whose arms and legs had been cut off, was saved by a compassionate she-wolf. This wolf, named Asina, nurtured and healed the boy. As he grew older, their union gave birth to a new generation of Turks. In time, this lineage regained strength and, after many years, emerged from Ergenekon to spread across the world. This legend proves that the Turks never accepted extinction. Even in their darkest moments, they found support in nature and sacred spirits, rising from the ashes and reclaiming their strength. Thus, the Grey Wolf is the ultimate symbol of rebirth and the refusal to accept subjugation.
16. The Grey Wolf and the spirit of freedom. Throughout history, the belief in the Grey Wolf has been at the core of why the Turks are always depicted as a people fighting for their freedom in their epics, poetry, and battlefields. Whenever the Turks faced oppression, their freedom was threatened, or their existence was at stake, they never accepted captivity or submission. Even when they were struck down, they rose again, stronger and more determined than before. The fact that they have established 16 great states throughout history is the clearest proof of this resilience. Behind this rebirth lies the faith in the Grey Wolf and the Turks' deep love for independence, which is ingrained in their spirit and cultural identity. They know that whenever they are in desperate times, a Grey Wolf appears to show them the way forward. This is not just a mythological narrative. It is a reflection of the Turks' unshakable belief in freedom and their determination to shape their own destiny. For example, the Ergenekon legend, which we mentioned earlier, is one of the strongest symbols of this belief. This story demonstrates that no matter how difficult the situation, the Turkish nation will never give up. Sooner or later, they will rise again and reclaim their place as a great power in the world.
The Grey Wolf and Turkish warriors. For centuries, the Grey Wolf has appeared on the shields, flags, and banners of Turkish warriors. It is not only a symbol of physical strength, but also a representation of spiritual power. During the eras of the Great Hun Empire, the Göktürks, the Seljuks, and the Ottomans, the Grey Wolf was not just a symbol, it became a military philosophy, moving swiftly, intelligently, and in a disciplined, organized manner, like the Grey Wolf itself. Turkish armies executed unexpected attacks on their enemies, striking fear into their hearts. The phrase, "to attack like a Grey Wolf," became a source of pride for Turkish warriors. The Grey Wolf is both a lone predator capable of extraordinary feats and a leader that moves in perfect coordination with its pack. This characteristic is reflected in Turkish military strategies. For example, the Turan tactic, a warfare technique designed to deceive the enemy and lure them into a trap, was inspired by the hunting strategy of the Grey Wolf.
The legacy of the Grey Wolf in the modern era. Even today, the Grey Wolf remains one of the most powerful symbols of the Turkish world. It is not merely a legend of the past. It has become a mindset that shapes the Turkish nation's perspective on the future. And it must never be forgotten. No matter how great the challenges, a nation that follows the path of the Grey Wolf will never perish, will never live in captivity, and will always find a way to reclaim its freedom. This is the path of nations that are faithful, proud, and honorable.
Shamanism and nature, the mystical beliefs of the Turks. Throughout history, the Turks have lived in harmony with nature, establishing a mystical connection with it. Shamanism is considered one of the earliest belief systems of the Turks. Shamans were not just religious leaders. They were also sacred figures who could communicate with nature, speak with spirits, and foresee the future. In shamanism, everything is alive. The sky, rivers, mountains, forests, and even the wind are sacred and have souls. Humans are not merely physical beings. They also have spirits that constantly interact with the universe. This understanding shaped a deep respect for nature in Turkish culture. Shamanism, the ancient belief system of the Turks, is not just a religion, but also a mystical way of life deeply integrated with nature. It views humans as part of the spiritual balance of the universe and carries profound insights into the inner world of the human soul. This wisdom is not merely a relic of the past. It has left its mark on many cultural elements even today. As the Turks embraced Islam, many of their mystical beliefs and teachings merge with Sufism and folk traditions, forming the foundation of Islamic mysticism in the region. Turkish Sufis profoundly influenced not only the Turkish world, but also the entire Islamic geography with their teachings on spiritual enlightenment. Great Sufi masters such as Ahmet Yesevi, Yunus Emre, Hasan Bektashi Veli, and Mevlana Rumi illuminated humanity with their universal message of love and unity. In Turkish epics, the concept of this sacred mountain is quite prevalent. For example, the Altai Mountains and the Tian Shan Mountains were considered spiritually powerful places that served as a bridge between the sky and the earth. Trees, especially pine and beech trees, were believed to be points of communication with spirits. Some ancient Turkish tribes would embrace beech trees, make wishes, and seek help from their spirits. Interestingly, it is believed that the Christmas tree tradition in Christianity is linked to the Nardagan festival, an ancient Turkish celebration. Water was considered sacred, and it was believed that rivers had spirits. Disrespecting them was thought to bring misfortune. For this reason, Turks avoided polluting water sources and took great care not to harm the spirit of the water. Göktengri, sky god, was regarded as the supreme deity in shamanism. The Turks would offer sacrifices, pray, and observe divine signs in the sky to understand their destiny. Even today, traces of these beliefs can still be found among people. Some individuals continue the traditions of making wishes to water before making important decisions, offering sacrifices to nature, or praying under large trees.
Shamans, mysterious sages and guides who speak with spirits. One of the most important aspects of shamanism is the shamans themselves. Shamans were not just religious figures. They were also healers, communicators with nature, and spirit messengers who could make prophecies. A shaman would undergo a special initiation before taking on this sacred duty. They were often chosen from individuals with innate abilities and would embark on this journey after receiving a spiritual calling. Shamanic rituals involved playing sacred drums, burning incense, and entering trances to journey into the spirit world. Shamans believed that illnesses were not only physical, but also spiritual in nature, and they tried to heal people through spiritual methods. Some sources describe how ancient Turkish shamans would dance around fire and chant sacred melodies to communicate with spirits. Even today, healing ceremonies and shamanic dances are still practiced in some Central Asian Turkish communities.
Sufism and shamanism, the great meeting of spiritual teachings. When the Turks embraced Islam, shamanistic teachings did not disappear overnight. On the contrary, they merged with Islamic mysticism, contributing to the birth of a new spiritual understanding. This transformation was particularly evident in Sufism. The core philosophy of Sufism emphasizes self-reflection, humility, and harmony with the universe. Similarly, in shamanism, living in harmony with nature and spirits is essential. This common ground allowed the two spiritual paths to converge. Great Sufi masters such as Yunus Emre, Hasai Bektaş Veli, Mevlana, Rumi, and Ahmet Yesevi played a key role in spreading Sufi philosophy among the people, blending shamanistic traditions with Islam. For example, in shamanism, it is believed that everything has a spirit and should be respected, which aligns with the Sufi principle of approaching all of God's creation with love. Shamans enter a trance to communicate with spirits, which is similar to the Mevlevi dervishes performing the whirling dance, Sima, to reach a state of spiritual ecstasy. Shamanic drum rituals bear a spiritual resemblance to Bektashi Sufi music and hymns nafs. Even today, many folk beliefs in Anatolia have their roots in ancient shamanistic traditions. For instance, practices such as the evil eye bead, tying cloth to wish trees, making offerings at tombs, and jumping over fire are all remnants of this cultural heritage. Shamanism was not merely a belief system in Turkish history. It shaped their spiritual worldview, art, music, and even their understanding of governance. The traces of shamanistic teachings can still be seen across a vast geography from Central Asia to Anatolia. Its philosophy of living in harmony with nature, spiritual wisdom, and unique rituals represents the deep roots and universal wisdom of Turkish culture. This ancient knowledge is a timeless legacy, one that offers humanity a way to reconnect with nature in the modern world, where this bond is increasingly being lost.
The Turks and the mysterious forces of the universe. Turkish culture is distinguished not only by victories on the battlefield, but also by its mystical teachings, ancient wisdom, and esoteric philosophies. The sky, stars, sacred mountains, and the mysterious laws of the universe have left deep marks on the Turkish spiritual world. Even today, many researchers argue that the Turks had a unique connection with nature and the cosmic forces of the universe. This connection was not limited to beliefs alone. The Turks' interest in astrology, their reverence for the sky and stars, and their cosmic awareness all point to a profound spiritual bond with the universe. Ancient Turks referred to the sky as Tungri, believing it to be a sacred realm where human destiny was shaped. Important decisions were made based on the movements of the sun and moon, and time was measured accordingly. These practices reflect the Turks' efforts to interpret cosmic events and their unique understanding of the universe's mysteries.
The sky and Tungri, the sacred connection of the Turks. For the Turks, the sky was not just an empty space adorned with stars. It was a sacred guide and a realm where destiny was determined. The Turks called the sky Tengri, recognizing it as the supreme power. The belief system of Tengrism was built on the idea that the sky shaped human life. Celestial events carried divine messages for the Turks. For example, shooting stars, storms, solar and lunar eclipses were believed to be signs related to the birth of great leaders, the outcomes of wars, and the fate of states. The sun and the moon were regarded as sacred celestial bodies. The sun symbolized the source of life and energy, while the moon was seen as a gateway to spiritual journeys and mystical wisdom. Ancient Turkish rulers were believed to have a divine connection with the sky. It was thought that they carried sacred blood, making them the earthly representatives of God. During the Göktürk era, rulers claimed to receive divine power from Tengri, governing their states based on this sacred authority. Khagan's rulers saw themselves as the shadow of Tengri on earth. Even today, beliefs such as lifting one's head to the sky, making a wish upon the stars, or seeing a lunar eclipse as a sign reflect the enduring influence of this ancient heritage in Turkish culture.
Astrology and the mystery of time among the Turks. For the Turks, astrology was not merely a fortune-telling practice, but a way of understanding fate and time. They believed that changes in the sky directly influenced the destinies of individuals and nations. Ancient Turks used celestial observations to create agricultural calendars, determine the timing of wars, and even choose the coronation dates of their rulers. The phases of the moon played a crucial role in nomadic life. For instance, the new moon symbolized new beginnings, while the full moon was believed to bring peak energy. The 12-animal Turkish calendar was an ancient astrological system based on celestial movements. In this system, each year carried the energy of a specific animal, and the characteristics of that animal were believed to shape the spirit of that year. For example, those born in the year of the dragon were thought to be brave and strong leaders, while those born in the year of the rat were considered intelligent and strategic thinkers. Even today, this calendar system is used in Central Asia and the Turkish world for personality analysis and future predictions.
Cosmic symbols and the esoteric philosophy of the Turks. Turkish culture is rich with symbols that reflect the mysteries of the universe and nature. These symbols are not just artistic decorations, but also carriers of ancient wisdom and spiritual understanding. 1. The Grey Wolf, a cosmic guide and a symbol of freedom. In Turkish mythology, the Grey Wolf is not just an animal, but also a divine guide that shapes the destiny of the Turkish nation. This was discussed in more detail in the previous section. 2. Tamga, symbols carrying celestial knowledge. Throughout history, the Turks have used tamgas, symbols that contained hidden meanings. Some letters in the Göktürk alphabet are believed to be inspired by stars in the sky. The Orkan inscriptions state that the Turks were connected to the sky and protected by Tengri. Many motifs in Turkish carpets contain symbols that represent the mysterious order of the universe. 3. The sacred tree, the tree of life, Bengu Agak. In Turkish mythology, the Tree of Life is a sacred entity at the center of the universe, connecting the three worlds. Its roots extend to the underworld, its trunk stands in the human world, and its branches reach the sky. This belief still exists among Central Asian Turkic communities today. For example, some Turkic tribes pray around large trees before making important decisions and seek guidance from spirits.
Conclusion: Cosmic consciousness in Turkish culture. The Turks were not only a powerful nation on earth, but also a civilization that sought to understand the mysterious laws of the universe. They used the sky as a compass of destiny. They read the stars to govern their states. Through symbols and mythology, they interpreted the workings of the universe. Even today, many traditions in Turkish culture reflect traces of this mystical understanding. Making wishes upon the stars, showing respect to the sun and moon, and preserving ancient symbols are all living legacies of this deep cosmic consciousness. And perhaps this ancient wisdom is one of the greatest heritages that can guide us in rediscovering the spiritual depth that is fading in the modern world.
The Turks' encounter with Islam and their contributions. From the 8th century onward, when the Turks first came into contact with Islam, they not only embraced it, but also greatly contributed to its development and protection. The first Turkish state to officially accept Islam was the Karahanids. However, the Turks' service to Islam was not limited to conversion. They made great sacrifices to protect and elevate it. The Seljuks, the shield of Islam, the Great Seljuk Empire, and its role as Islam's protector. During the era of the Seljuk Empire, the Turks became one of the greatest guardians of the Islamic world. In 1071, with the Battle of Manzikert, the Seljuk ruler Alparslan not only opened the gates of Anatolia, but also became a leader of the Islamic world. The Seljuks not only spread Islam, but also initiated a great Islamic renaissance in science, art, and philosophy. The Seljuk Empire protected the Islamic world from Crusader invasions and Mongol conquests. Madrasas, Islamic schools, established by Nizam al-Mulk, became the most important centers of Islamic education, producing many scholars. The Seljuk rulers significantly contributed to the development of Islamic science, philosophy, and art. The Ottomans, the standard-bearers of Islam, the Ottoman Empire, and the protection of the Caliphate. The Ottoman Empire was one of the longest-standing standard-bearers of Islam. In 1517, Sultan Selim I brought the Caliphate to Ottoman lands, making the Ottomans the most powerful leaders of the Islamic world. The Ottomans established a great Islamic civilization spanning 3 continents, elevating Islamic culture, art, and science to new heights. Majestic structures such as the Suleimani Mosque and Selimai Mosque stand as some of the greatest examples of Islamic architecture. The Ottoman Empire spread Islam to its widest geographical reach and played a crucial role in preserving and glorifying the faith. Ottoman sultans were among the greatest defenders of Islam, assuming the role of caliphs to lead the Muslim world. Mimar Sinan's mosques represent the pinnacle of Islamic art. Ottoman madrasas nurtured Islamic intellectual and Sufi traditions, attracting scholars from all over the world.
Sufism and the spiritual world of the Turks. Turkish Sufis and their contributions to Islam. The Turks did not only focus on the political and military aspects of Islam, they also enriched its spiritual and mystical dimensions. Through their developed mystical teachings, they became a source of light for the entire world. Great Turkish Sufi thinkers such as Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, Yunus Emre, and Haji Bektash Veli spread Islam's message of love, tolerance, and unity to the world. Their influence was not limited to the Turkish world, but extended throughout the Islamic world, inspiring millions. Yunus Emre, the poet of love and unity. Yunus Emre taught that God should be remembered not with fear, but with love. He emphasized human love and unity, saying, "If we share, we will be full. If we divide, we will perish." Mevlana Jalaluddin Rumi, understanding the soul of the universe. Through Sama, whirling dance, and the Masnavi, Mevlana conveyed Islam's depth to the human soul. His philosophy gained immense popularity, not only in the Islamic world, but also in the West, influencing many philosophers and artists. Haji Bektash Veli, the guide who brought Islam to the people. Haji Bektash Veli presented Islam not just as a religion, but as a way of life. He advocated for a harmonious blend of Islam with reason and science, famously stating, "The path that does not go through knowledge leads to darkness." These great thinkers played a crucial role in shaping the spiritual world of Islam and left an eternal legacy in Turkish and Islamic civilization.
The Turks' contributions to science and art. Architects of civilization. The Turks have not only shaped history through their military power, but also through their immense contributions to science and art, establishing some of the greatest civilizations in history. Turkish art has flourished throughout the ages, with carpet weaving, tile craftsmanship, miniature painting, and calligraphy among the Turks' most significant contributions to the global aesthetic heritage. The Ottoman Empire, through classical Turkish music and divan literature, created an extraordinary cultural legacy, giving rise to art forms that continue to thrive today. In the fields of science and art, the Turks left lasting achievements in disciplines ranging from astronomy to medicine, architecture to music, and literature to handicrafts. They raised visionary figures who guided the advancement of humanity. Their brilliance changed the world not only with the sword, but also with the pen and the brush.
Sages who illuminated the ages. 1. Al-Farabi, the Aristotle of the East. Al-Farabi is considered one of the founders of Islamic philosophy and logic. His works in mathematics, logic, music, and political philosophy significantly influenced the European Renaissance. His book Al-Medina al-Fadila, The Virtuous City, is a groundbreaking work that combines the political philosophies of Plato and Aristotle with Islamic thought. 2. Avicenna, Ibn Sina, the genius of medicine. Ibn Sina is not only one of the greatest scholars of the Turkic Islamic world, but also one of the most influential physicians in history. His book Al-Canon Fight Tib, The Canon of Medicine, was used as a fundamental medical textbook in Europe for over 600 years. He was the first to classify neurological and psychological disorders and develop new surgical techniques. 3. Ulugh Beg, the ruler who calculated the stars. A grandson of Timur, Ulugh Beg was not only a ruler, but also a renowned astronomer. The observatory he built in Samarkand became one of the most advanced astronomy centers in the world, contributing to star charting and celestial calculations. Many astronomical calculations that we use today were developed thanks to Ulugh Beg's research. 4. Ali Kushji, the Ottoman master of astronomy. Under the patronage of Sultan Mehmed the Conqueror, Ali Kushji made significant contributions to astronomy and mathematics. He was one of the first scholars to conduct scientific studies on the surface of the moon. He played a crucial role in establishing the scientific foundations of Ottoman madrasas, influencing education and research in the empire. These great minds not only shaped the intellectual landscape of their time, but also left a lasting impact on world history, proving that the Turks were not only warriors, but also pioneers of science and art.
Turks and art. Traces of aesthetics and elegance. Turkish art is not just a matter of aesthetic appreciation, it is also a cultural identity. From traditional arts to architectural marvels and music, this cultural heritage continues to be admired to this day. 1. Mimar Sinan, the genius architect of the Ottoman Empire. He left an indelible mark on Ottoman architecture with masterpieces such as Süleymanî Mosque, Selimiye Mosque, and Seyit Saad Mosque. By constructing some of the largest domes in history, he revolutionized architecture. His famous saying, "Süleymanî is my work as a journeyman, Selimiye is my masterpiece," reflects his architectural journey. 2. Miniature and calligraphy, the dance of elegance with the pen. Miniature art, which flourished during the Seljuk and Ottoman periods, is a captivating fusion of painting and storytelling. Calligraphy reached its zenith in the Islamic world with the most aesthetic renditions of the Quran. Masters such as Ahmed Karahisari and Hafiz Osman were among the greatest calligraphers of the Ottoman era. 3. Carpet weaving and tile art, the language of colors and motifs. Turkish carpets are not mere household items. They are art pieces that each tell a unique story. Bergama, Hurik, and Yusak carpets have gained worldwide recognition for their exquisite craftsmanship. Iznik tiles, with their dazzling designs, became the signature decoration of Ottoman palaces and mosques, leaving a lasting mark on art history.
Turkish literature, epics of words. Turkish literature is not just a collection of written texts, but a cultural legacy enriched with epics, folk tales, and profound philosophical teachings. 1. Kasgarli Mahmut, the guardian of the Turkish language. His work Divan-i Lagati Turk is one of the greatest dictionaries of the Turkish language. It was the first scholarly work to demonstrate that Turkish was as significant as Arabic and Persian. 2. Fuzuli and Divan literature. Fuzuli is one of the greatest poets of Turkish literature. His masterpiece Leyla and Majnun is among the most elegant portrayals of love in classical literature. 3. Dede Korkut stories, the cornerstone of Turkish culture. The Dede Korkut stories are among the most important sources of Turkish epics and folk tales, reflecting the heroic deeds and cultural values of the Oghuz Turks. This work has been recognized as a UNESCO World Heritage. From epic tales to architectural wonders, the Turks have shaped civilizations, leaving a lasting legacy in art, literature, and culture.
The role of Turks today, a global power and the legacy of civilization. As one of the most ancient nations in history, The Turks are not only the architects of past, but also key shapers of the present and future. With their rich civilization, strong state structures, and deep cultural heritage, they continue to thrive not only within the borders of the Republic of Turkey, but also across a vast geography stretching from Asia to Europe, the Middle East to the Americas. Today, the Turkic world represents a vast cultural basin of over 300 million people. Independent Turkic states such as Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan, and Kyrgyzstan have united under common cultural and economic values, forming a powerful global force. However, the global role of Turks is not limited to political and economic influence. In the fields of science, technology, art, sports, and diplomacy, Turks continue to rise as a nation with a strong presence on the world stage. The impact of Turks on global politics and economics is also profound. Breakthroughs in the defense industry, the worldwide promotion of Turkish culture, and advancements in science have positioned Turks as a key player in the global arena.
The rise of Turks in defense industry and technology. Turks have achieved significant success in the fields of defense, aerospace, and technology. Particularly, Turkey has gained international recognition for its locally produced defense systems. Bayraktar TB2 and defense technology. Turkish-made UAVs, unmanned aerial vehicles, and UCAVs, unmanned combat aerial vehicles, have played a crucial role in global conflicts. From the Ukraine-Russia war to the Karabakh victory, Bayraktar TB2 has been exported to over 30 countries, establishing Turkey as a leader in the global defense industry.
The global influence of Turks in culture and art. Turkish culture and art are not only highly valued within their own geography, but have also gained global recognition. Turkish TV series, music, cinema, and literature have captivated millions of people worldwide. Turkish TV series and cinema. Turkish TV series have reached vast audiences from Latin America to the Middle East, the Balkans to Europe. Productions such as Dirilis Ertugrul, Resurrection Ertugrul, Kurulus Osman, Establishment Osman, and Muhteşem Yüzyıl, Magnificent Century, have sparked global interest in Turkish history and culture. Turkish cuisine spreading worldwide. Doner, kebab, baklava, and manti have gained immense global popularity. Turkish coffee and tea, recognized as UNESCO cultural heritage, have become widely consumed beverages worldwide. Turkish literature and cultural diplomacy. Authors such as Nazım Hikmet, Orhan Pamuk, Yasar Kemal, Elif Shafak, Ahmet Hamdi Tanpınar, Orhan Veli Kanık, Aziz Nesin, Halide Edip Adıvar, Bilge Karasu, Latif Tekin, Atilla İlhan, and Fazıl Hüsnü Daglarka are among the prominent figures introducing Turkish literature to the international arena. The works of Mevlana, Rumi, and Yunus Emre, renowned Turkish mystics, are widely translated and admired across the world. Global contributions of Turkish scientists. Professor Dr. Ursahin and Dr. Özlem Teresi, who developed the COVID-19 vaccine, have demonstrated the global impact of Turkish scientists. Turkish scientists working at CERN, European Organization for Nuclear Research, are conducting groundbreaking research in particle physics and the origins of the universe. From technology to literature, defense to cuisine, Turks continue to leave an undeniable mark on global civilization, blending their rich heritage with modern innovation.
The place and importance of Turks in world history. Throughout history, Turks have shaped many states across Europe, Asia, and the Middle East, making significant contributions to global civilization. The Ottoman Empire deeply influenced European history, establishing a great civilization for centuries. The Seljuks initiated a golden age of culture and science in the Islamic world. Today, the Republic of Turkey and other Turkic states play important roles in global politics and economics. The Turkish language, spoken by millions, carries a vast cultural heritage. Throughout history, when Turks acted in unity and solidarity, they left a profound impact on the world. Today, the unity of the Turkic world has the potential to reshape global balances. Organization of Turkic States (OTS). Established in 2009 as the Turkic Council, it was transformed into the Organization of Turkic States (OTS) in 2021. Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Kyrgyzstan, and Uzbekistan are full members, aiming to enhance economic, cultural, and strategic cooperation. The OTS has the potential to evolve into a powerful union, similar to the European Union, becoming a new force in global politics. The economic power of the Turkic world. Turkic states have great potential in natural resources, agriculture, industry, and trade. Kazakhstan possesses some of the world's largest oil and natural gas reserves, while Uzbekistan and Turkmenistan stand out in agriculture and energy. Turkey's advancements in industry, technology, and defense further strengthen the economic power of the Turkic world.
Turkish language, its richness, history, and influence on other languages. With a history spanning thousands of years, Turkish is one of the most ancient and rich languages in the world. Beyond being a means of communication, is a living heritage that reflects the history, culture, and global influence of Turks. From the Orkhon inscriptions to modern Turkish, the language has left a strong literary and scientific legacy, while also influencing many other languages. Key features of the Turkish language. Turkish is an agglutinative language, meaning new words can be formed by adding suffixes to root words. With the root plus suffix structure, hundreds of thousands of words can be derived. Turkish has a rich collection of idioms and proverbs, offering a powerful expression capability. Today, Turkish is spoken by over 300 million people and remains an important communication tool in the Turkic world. It is spoken in Turkey, Azerbaijan, Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, Kyrgyzstan, Uzbekistan, Northern Cyprus, the Uyghur Autonomous Region, China, Tatarstan, Russia, and other regions. Turks have migrated worldwide, bringing their language wherever they go, ensuring that Turkish continues to spread globally. Turkish grammar is simple, with almost no exceptions, making it one of the easiest languages to learn. Turkish, a language of history, culture, and civilization. With a 1,000-year-old legacy, it is spoken across a vast geography. Thanks to its expressive power, rich vocabulary, and contributions to other languages, Turkish holds a unique place among world languages. Turkish is not just a language, it is the voice of a civilization and a cultural heritage.
Ataturk's importance and place in Turkish and world history. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk, one of the greatest statesmen of the 20th century, left a lasting mark on both Turkish and world history. With his military genius, leadership skills, and visionary reforms, he influenced not only Turkey but also many other nations. During the collapse of the Ottoman Empire, he reorganized a nation, founded the modern Republic of Turkey, and implemented revolutions to elevate it to the level of contemporary civilization.
The War of Independence and Turkish struggle for freedom. One of Ataturk's greatest achievements in world history was his victory against imperialism, leading to the establishment of a new state. In 1919, when he set foot in Samsun, he initiated the Turkish War of Independence, which became an inspiration not only for the Turkish nation, but also for oppressed nations worldwide. These victories demonstrated to the world that the Turkish nation would never accept subjugation and was willing to sacrifice everything for independence. Ataturk became one of the first leaders to defeat imperialist powers, serving as a source of inspiration for oppressed nations fighting for their freedom.
The foundation of the Republic of Turkey and Ataturk's reforms. After winning the War of Independence, Ataturk did not stop at merely saving a country. He focused on building an entirely new state. On October 29, 1923, he proclaimed the Republic of Turkey, establishing a governance system based on the will of the people. Through the republican regime, the people gained the right to elect their leaders, individual freedoms were emphasized, and a modern democratic state was built. Ataturk's major reforms. Abolition of the Sultanate. 1922 ended Ottoman monarchy, prioritizing the people's will. Proclamation of the Republic. 1923 transferred sovereignty to the people, ensuring a transition to democracy. Abolition of the Caliphate. 1924 separated religious authority from state affairs, adopting the principle of secularism. Adoption of the Latin alphabet. 1928 increased literacy rates, making education more accessible. Granting women the right to vote and be elected. 1934 Turkish women gained political rights even before many European countries. Adoption of the Civil Code. 1926 modernized the legal system, securing individual rights and equality.
Ataturk's contribution to national identity and modernization. Ataturk was not just a war hero. He also shaped the identity of the Turkish nation, making it modern and progressive. He took important steps to strengthen national identity and expand education. Founded the Turkish Language Association (TDK), simplifying Turkish and making it more accessible. Established the Turkish Historical Society (TTK), highlighting the deep-rooted history of the Turkish nation. Made education compulsory, significantly raising the knowledge and awareness of the people. Ataturk's visionary leadership, revolutionary reforms, and commitment to modernization transformed Turkey into a strong, independent, and progressive nation. His legacy continues to inspire not only Turkey, but the entire world.
World leaders' views on Ataturk. Mustafa Kemal Ataturk is recognized not only as the founder of the Republic of Turkey, but also as a great statesman and leader on the world stage. His determination, leadership, and peaceful policies have been an inspiration to many nations. Numerous politicians and thinkers, both during his time and in later periods, have honored Ataturk's leadership and legacy with deep respect. World leaders' opinions on Ataturk. Winston Churchill, Prime Minister of the United Kingdom. Ataturk is one of the greatest leaders of our time. His success and vision are a great gain not only for Turkey, but for the entire world. John F. Kennedy, President of the United States. Ataturk is an inspiration not only to the Turkish nation, but to all nations fighting for freedom. He has shown the world how a modern state should be built. Mahatma Gandhi, leader of India's independence movement. Mustafa Kemal is the leader of oppressed nations. He has set an example for the world in the fight against imperialism. Time magazine 1923, a man from all over the world. Ataturk's leadership and vision were not only shaping Turkey, but also influencing the future of the world.
Ataturk's peaceful policies and international prestige. Despite achieving great victories on the battlefield, Ataturk believed that lasting peace was the most crucial element for a strong and prosperous future. His famous words, "Peace at home, peace in the world," became the guiding principle of his foreign policy. Through his diplomatic and peaceful approach, he kept Turkey away from conflicts and ensured stability. Ataturk's peace policies, keeping Turkey out of wars. During an era of global turmoil, especially before World War II, Ataturk successfully protected Turkey from devastation by ensuring its neutrality. Balkan Pact, 1934. To promote regional peace and cooperation, Turkey signed this agreement with Greece, Romania, and Yugoslavia, laying the foundation for stability in the Balkans. Sadabad Pact, 1937. A significant step towards Middle Eastern stability. This pact was signed between Turkey, Iran, Iraq, and Afghanistan to maintain peace in the region. Friendly relations with Greece. Despite the Greco-Turkish War, Ataturk pursued peaceful diplomacy with Greece. As a result, Greek Prime Minister Eleftherios Venizelos even nominated Ataturk for the Nobel Peace Prize. Ataturk's famous words on peace. Peace at home, peace in the world.
Ataturk's passing and his legacy. On November 10, 1938, Mustafa Kemal Ataturk passed away at Dolmabahce Palace in Istanbul. His death was not only a great loss for Turkey, but also for the entire world. The news of Ataturk's passing made headlines across the global media, and many countries declared mourning in his honor. The modern Republic of Turkey, which Ataturk founded, has continued to evolve based on his principles. The reforms he initiated, secularism, modern education, women's rights, and economic development, have ensured Turkey's survival as a modern and independent state. Ataturk's vision and legacy. He made education compulsory and accessible, raising the knowledge level of the people. He empowered women, granting them the right to vote and be elected. He implemented economic reforms, striving to make Turkey self-sufficient. Ataturk's words, "To see me does not necessarily mean to see my face. If you understand my ideas and feel them in your heart, that is enough." His ideas and reforms remain the foundation of the Republic of Turkey today. Ataturk is not only a leader for the Turkish nation, but also an inspiration for all oppressed nations throughout history.
How are Turks perceived in the world? The common characteristics of the Turkish people have been shaped by their courage, hospitality, hard work, and rich culture throughout history. The global perception of Turks is influenced by historical events, international relations, and modern achievements. Here are some of the most well-known traits of Turks worldwide. 1. A brave and warrior nation. Having established great empires, Turks are known for their courage and military success. The Ottoman Empire, Seljuks, and Huns have all left a lasting mark on world history. Napoleon Bonaparte once famously said, "A single Turk is worth the entire world." 2. Hospitality and generosity. Turks are widely recognized for their warm hospitality. Visitors to Turkey are often surprised by the friendly and welcoming nature of the people. This trait was evident even during the Ottoman era, when the empire welcomed Jewish refugees expelled from Spain in 1492. 3. Love for independence and the spirit of resistance. Turks have fought countless struggles for freedom, with the War of Independence being a prime example. 4. Strong family and social bonds. Turks are deeply connected to their traditions and value family life highly. Social solidarity is one of the strongest aspects of the Turkish nation, especially in times of crisis. 5. Rich in art, culture, and cuisine. Turkish cuisine is considered one of the richest in the world. Kebabs, baklava, doner, and Turkish coffee are widely popular internationally. Additionally, Turkish carpet weaving and Ottoman calligraphy are highly regarded in the world of art and craftsmanship. 6. A hardworking and entrepreneurial nation. Turks are known for their strong work ethic and entrepreneurial spirit. Turkish communities abroad, especially in Europe and the US, have achieved great success in business and trade. 7. Success in sports. Turkish wrestlers have achieved global recognition, and Turkish athletes have excelled in football, basketball, and weightlifting. Naim Suleimanoglu, known as Pocket Hercules, is one of the greatest weightlifters in history. 8. Rise in technology and defense industry. In recent years, Turkey has made significant advancements in the defense industry, automotive, and technology sectors. The Bayraktar drones, SHAs, have gained global attention and have been purchased by multiple countries.
How are Turks perceived in the world? The common characteristics of the Turkish people have been shaped by their courage, hospitality, hard work, and rich culture throughout history. The global perception of Turks is influenced by historical events, international relations, and modern achievements. Here are some of the most well-known traits of Turks worldwide. 1. A brave and warrior nation. Having established great empires, Turks are known for their courage and military success. The Ottoman Empire, Seljuks, and Huns have all left a lasting mark on world history. Napoleon Bonaparte once famously said, "A single Turk is worth the entire world." 2. Hospitality and generosity. Turks are widely recognized for their warm hospitality. Visitors to Turkey are often surprised by the friendly and welcoming nature of the people. This trait was evident even during the Ottoman era, when the empire welcomed Jewish refugees expelled from Spain in 1492. 3. Love for independence and the spirit of resistance. Turks have fought countless struggles for freedom, with the War of Independence being a prime example. For strong family and social bonds, Turks are deeply connected to their traditions and value family life highly. Social solidarity is one of the strongest aspects of the Turkish nation, especially in times of crisis. 5. Rich in art, culture, and cuisine. Turkish cuisine is considered one of the richest in the world. Kebabs, baklava, doner, and Turkish coffee are widely popular internationally. Additionally, Turkish carpet weaving and Ottoman calligraphy are highly regarded in the world of art and craftsmanship. 6. A hardworking and entrepreneurial nation. Turks are known for their strong work ethic and entrepreneurial spirit. Turkish communities abroad, especially in Europe and the US, have achieved great success in business and trade. 7. Success in sports. Turkish wrestlers have achieved global recognition, and Turkish athletes have excelled in football, basketball, and weightlifting. Naim Suleimanoglu, known as Pocket Hercules, is one of the greatest weightlifters in history. 8. Rise in technology and defense industry. In recent years, Turkey has made significant advancements in the defense industry, automotive, and technology sectors. The Bayraktar drones (SHAs) have gained global attention and have been purchased by multiple countries.
Famous quotes about the Turks throughout history. Throughout history, many notable figures have spoken about the Turkish people with admiration and respect. If the world were a single state, its capital would be Istanbul. Napoleon Bonaparte. Turks can be killed, but they can never be defeated. Jean-Paul Roux, French historian. The phrase, strong as a Turk, has been on the tongues of all nations for centuries. Alphonse de Lamartine, French writer and poet. Turks have always been devoted to their freedom and independence throughout history. Joseph de Gaines, French historian. Turks are such a nation that even if you defeat them, sooner or later, they will hold you accountable for it. Adolf Hitler. The Turks are a noble nation that has never been enslaved in their history. Winston Churchill, British Prime Minister. Turks are a noble and courageous people, even respected by their enemies. Pierre Lodi, French writer and poet. On the battlefield, Turks move like lightning and never show fear. Byzantine Emperor Alexios I Komnenos. Turks have never been humiliated. They have always lived freely. Leo Tolstoy. Turks are the true masters of Europe. Befriend them, but never make them your enemy. Kaiser Wilhelm II, German Emperor. Turks have never accepted slavery and have always lived in freedom. John F. Kennedy, U.S. President. Turks are a nation that has ruled the world with their determination and willpower. Friedrich Schiller, German poet and philosopher. The Turks have always established great states and ruled with justice. Franz Babinger, German historian. I know how to fight like the Turks, but I can never die like them. Count de Bonneval, French soldier and Ottoman Pasha. On the battlefield, Turks do not only defeat their enemies, they also change the course of history and shape humanity. Stephen Kinzer, American writer and journalist. Turks are as noble in victory as they are in defeat. General Charles de Gaulle, French president. To be a Turk means to have knowledge and never forget one's past. Ahmet Yesevi, Turkish Sufi and scholar. If Turks unite, the world will shake. Joseph Stalin. If you truly knew them, you would admire the Turks. Napoleon Bonaparte. There are two great unknowns in the world, the Poles and the Turks. Pierre Lodi. As a race and a nation, Turks are among the most honorable people on earth. Alphonse de Lamartine. Turks may not realize it, but Europeans do. If you remove the Turks from history, there would be no history left. Torquato Tasso. When British Foreign Minister Sir Edward Grey heard of Sultan Abdul Hamid II's passing, he said, "What great loss. He was my adversary, but with his death, diplomacy has lost its charm." General Hamilton. No other army in the world could stand firm for as long as the Turks. There is no other soldier willing to sacrifice his life for his religion and country like a Turk. British Prime Minister William Pitt the Younger, 1759 to 1806. The only thing Turks love is truth and justice. And although they have never committed injustice, they have often been treated unjustly. Alphonse de Lamartine, French poet. I am speaking of the Turks. When attacking their enemy, they are like a merciless hurricane, a terrifying sea, and an unforgiving storm. But among friends and even unarmed foes, they are like a gentle morning breeze and a clear lake. To turn this bright lake into a raging sea would be an act of grave folly. Painter Alexander Gabriel de Camps. The greatest adornment of Turkish women is their Turkish identity. They do not wear diamonds or emeralds for decoration. Rather, they give value to those stones with their presence. Every Turkish woman is a living pearl and an invaluable diamond. Arab scholar Ibn Asal. Among all nations, there is no braver and more courageous people than the Turks. God created them in the form of lions. Arab scholar Al-Jaiz. Turks do not know hypocrisy, deceit, flattery, or betrayal. They are the most honorable people, untouched by corruption or dishonesty.
Memories of foreigners about the Turks. The Italian Dominican priest Riccoldo de Monte Croce, who traveled through the Islamic world in the second half of the 13th century with the aim of Christianizing the East, was astonished by what he witnessed in Turkish lands and said, "Muslim Turks are extremely generous in establishing charitable foundations. They even buy the freedom of Christian captives as an act of charity and dedicate their good deeds to the souls of their deceased parents. They even allocate portions of their wealth to feed stray dogs." In her memoirs regarding commercial ethics in Ottoman society, Lady Montagu, the wife of British Ambassador G. Montagu, who lived in Istanbul between 1717 to 1718, wrote, "In England, liars boast about their deceit. In the Ottoman Empire, however, if someone is proven to have lied, a hot iron is pressed to their forehead. If such a law were applied in our country, one would see how many beautiful faces would be scarred, and how many members of the so-called upper class would be forced to walk around with wigs covering their brows." The Western historian Emre Abissini, who lived in Istanbul for many years in the 1850s, described the character traits of various ethnic groups in the city. In his memoirs he wrote, "As a rule, when dealing with an Armenian, pay half of the requested price. With a Greek, pay 1/3. With a Jew, pay 1/4. But when trading with a Muslim, trust the price and pay what is asked." What do you think? What has changed from then until today? Personally, I feel ashamed of what I now see and hear. The founder of the Protestant Reformation, Martin Luther, remarked on the just governance of the Ottoman Empire, which had gained the hearts of the local population while advancing into Europe. Criticizing his own rulers, who mercilessly exploited their people, he stated, "For the poor, living under the rule of the Turks may be more beneficial than living under the rule of your insatiable princes, feudal lords, and bourgeoisie." In the 16th century, Prince Stephen the Great of Moldavia, who resisted the expansion of the Ottoman Empire, and was named the Knight of Christianity by Catholic Europe for his wars against the Turks, gave the following advice to his children on his deathbed: "You may soon find yourselves in need of protection. Never seek refuge with the Russians. They are traitors and will destroy you. But entrust yourselves to the Turks. They are just and merciful." Professor Hutterot, an expert on Ottoman society, expressed his amazement at the efficiency of Ottoman administration. The Ottoman Empire managed its vast lands and diverse populations from Topkapi Palace with remarkable efficiency. That palace was not even as large as the estate of the most modest feudal lord in the West. How is this possible? I have yet to discover the secret. While studying the social structure of Palestine in the 16th century, I came across records that left me astonished. The Ottomans had planned in advance where the grapes for a military unit's lunch would come from 3 years later. The Ottoman Empire was, as a state, one of humanity's greatest wonders. After losing a war against Russia in the 17th century, King Charles XII of Sweden, also known as Demirbaş Sarl, sought refuge in the Ottoman Empire. Overwhelmed by the generosity he received from the Turks, he expressed his gratitude as follows: "At Poltava, I was about to be captured. That would have meant my death, but I was saved. Before the Bug River, the danger was even greater. In front of me was water, behind me was the enemy, and above me, the scorching sun that rained fire upon me. The water sought to drown me. The enemy sought to tear me apart. The sun sought to melt me. But again, I was saved. But today I am a prisoner of the Turks. Iron, fire, and water could not capture me, but they have. Yet there are no chains on my feet, nor am I in a dungeon. I do whatever I please. This time, I am a prisoner of kindness, nobility, and courtesy. The Turks have wrapped me in a diamond bond. To live as a free captive among such a generous, noble, and kind people, if only you knew how sweet it is." Ibn Khaldun, one of the greatest historians and sociologists of the Islamic world, described the Turks as follows: "Among all nations, none surpass the Turks in courage and heroism. No other people are as determined in achieving great goals. God created them with the qualities of lions. They are accustomed to the steppes, the barren deserts, and the harshest conditions. If necessary, they can survive on the bare minimum. From the moment a Turk is born, he aspires to become a leader, a commander, or an administrator, and he considers hardship as a natural part of his duty."
Conclusion: the cultural and spiritual legacy of the Turks and Turkish identity. The Turks are not only a nation that has written epics on the battlefield, but also a civilization deeply intertwined with the mysteries of the universe, the spirit of nature, and profound spirituality. Their mythology, epics, mystical teachings, and belief systems are not merely historical accounts, but fascinating reflections of a culture, a soul, and a civilization. This ancient heritage will continue to illuminate the future. The Turks built a great civilization not only through their ancient shamanic traditions, but also through their spiritual legacy, which was enriched by Islam. The Seljuks, the Ottomans, and modern Turkey have not only embraced Islam, but have also developed and elevated it, securing their place in history as a nation that shaped the course of civilizations. Even today, the mystical and legendary aspects of the Turks continue to intrigue researchers worldwide. To understand Turkish history is not just to comprehend the past, but also to grasp humanity's spiritual and universal journey. Turkish identity, more than an ethnic lineage. Being Turkish is not merely about biological ancestry or ethnic identity. It is about understanding, embracing, and carrying forward a profound cultural and historical legacy. Turkish culture encompasses its language, beliefs, traditions, values, and the shared consciousness shaped over centuries. To be Turkish is not just to belong to a lineage, but to feel that spirit, to protect that heritage, and to uphold its values. For this reason, Turkishness transcends borders, is passed down through generations, and represents a nation civilization that each individual adopts with understanding and pride. History does not forget, civilizations do not vanish, and legacies live on forever. Know the past, understand the present, build the future. Peace at home, peace in the world. How happy is the one who says, I am a Turk. Mustafa Kemal Atatürk.